salary, whether you're part-time or full-time, doesn't matter. Right. Anybody in here working below that?
I work for 350.
Yeah, I work for 350 too.
Where do you work? Where?
That's his allowance.
At Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
Oh, you get tipped though.
Oh, yeah, because you're on tips.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't even add up to
I'm sure it doesn't.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't.
I'm sure, yeah. No, I used to do the same thing here in college. You know, I had a job like that in college, and tips, especially before payday, were not good. Not good at all. Okay. All right, so that's labor costs. Another factor that will cause the curve to shift is the price of non-labor inputs, or the price of other things. The price of other things. Other resources needed for production. Other resources, like oil. The third one is productivity. Productivity, yeah. Something like that. You know, that's number 3. Productivity. If you are more productive or more efficient, in other words, then that supply curve is going to shift to the right. If you're not, then it's going to go left. And you're going to have to probably find a new job. You know, 'cause that's a factor. All right. Last but not least, our supply shocks. A supply shock. We had a supply shock just a couple of years ago when rumors were flying around that we were running out of gas. And that was about 3 years ago. Everybody ran to the gas station, stood in line for 2-3 hours to make sure that their vehicles had full tanks of gas because they were afraid they were going to run out of gas.
That's so stupid.
And you know, what happens if you run out of gas? Well, you have this 3,000-pound paperweight sitting in your garage.
I like it.
That's when you pull out the 2 wheels and start pedaling.
That or the roller skates, yeah.
Like one.
That's a shift to the left. We had a supply shock also in 1973. Most of you don't remember that. But your parents do, because there was seriously a shortage of gas. But not only was there a shortage of gas, but prices went sky high. It is true. He has a moratorium in effect until November. Until November. And that's to make sure that everybody, all the oil companies who have wells out there in the ocean, check those wells to make sure they are safe, so we don't have a repeat of what happened. Okay, that's chapter 9. That's aggregate demand, aggregate supply. Now, one last point. This graph, if I don't do anything more to it, this graph is what a typical economy looks like. Graphically portrayed. You have aggregate demand, you have both supply curves. Where they intersect is where you have equilibrium. Equilibrium. That's where the price level is equal to potential output.
That's where we're not.
No, we're not there. We are definitely not there. As I said earlier, we're operating actually somewhere to the left of this vertical curve. To the left. And that's because of unemployment. If you're on the right, that means you're operating above full employment, which is rare. Sure, it's possible, but it's still rare.
So,
yes.
country do you advise?
Yeah, as soon as you graduate, where you go?
Scandinavia. Anywhere in the Scandinavian area. Sweden, Norway.
How is Japan holding up?
They're not as good as us.
Okay, so.
They're just coming out of a 10-year depression.
Denmark.
And cost of living in Japan is extremely low. What country will you definitely not want to go to? Yes, Zimbabwe. Don't want to move to Zimbabwe.
I said Africa. He said, what country do you not want to go to? Africa.
Yeah, right. Well, that narrows it down, doesn't it? Okay. I get well, for the remaining 15 minutes, you can have something you haven't had. Senior activity fun day. When? Yes. Yes.